Episode 146. Han Li's simple statement made the green light on his origin soul flicker instantly.
How do you know about this? You're the one who was spying yesterday.
Good. Since you know I'm not completely in the dark about your affairs, you'd better tell me everything, honestly. I'm sure you wouldn't want me to destroy your origin soul right this instant.
Han Li's words made senior brother Lin's origin soul tremble violently in his grasp.
What else is there to say? You heard most of it yesterday, didn't you, junior brother?
Seeing that their message had been met with continued silence from within the formation, the 1,000 Bamboo Sect members outside grew furious. They ordered their puppets to launch a fresh assault.
Outside the formation, the clamor rose once more. But within, aside from a faint echo of sound and the slightest tremor, all remained perfectly calm.
Junior brother, what kind of miraculous formation is this? It can withstand such a ferocious assault, it's truly unbelievable.
Don't worry about what kind of array this is. Stop interrupting. And I have absolutely no interest in your 1,000 Bamboo Sect's internal squabbles. All I want to know is, what kind of divine abilities does the Great Development Art bestow upon Cultivation? If you try to stall for time, I'll destroy you right here and now.
Han Li finished speaking, and the white light in his hand flared intensely. He applied the slightest pressure with his finger, groaning causing senior brother Lin's origin soul to let out a sharp cry and hurriedly plead for mercy.
Not at all. Not at all. The Great Development Art is a secret technique created solely by our sect's founding patriarch. It's a method specifically for strengthening spiritual sense and cultivating the art of splitting one's spirit. It's also the mandatory foundational technique for all of us in the 1,000 Bamboo Sect who use puppets. Only by mastering this art can one attach their spiritual sense to multiple puppets and control them with ease. Otherwise, no matter how many puppets we forge, we could never operate them all at once.
Having tasted Han Li's methods, senior brother Lin didn't dare to drag things out any longer and hurriedly finished his explanation in one breath.
If it's the 1,000 Bamboo Sect's basic cultivation method, why would you even bother scheming for it? And there's talk of it being only half a manual. What's that all about?
There's no need to hide this. While the Great Derivation Art is the foundational cultivation method of our 1,000 Bamboo Sect, it's also the very core of our teachings. We can't just pass it on to every single disciple. So now, the Great Development Art cultivated by the 1,000 Bamboo Sect's disciples is just a simplified version of the first layer of the true manual. It's easier to practice, but even when fully mastered, its power is far inferior to the first layer of the true Great Development Art. The true, original Great Derivation Art is reserved for the upper echelons of the sect. These people outside have all cultivated the first two layers of the original, which is why they can each control nearly 100 puppets at once. And I've mastered the third layer, which allows me to control over 300 puppets, putting me a cut above the rest. However, the Dhyana art beyond the third layer has always been reserved solely for the sect leader and their designated successor. Back then, a rebellion broke out in the 1,000 Bamboo Sect. My father was ambushed by the current sect leader Jin Nantian, who even seized the original Great Derivation Art from him. At the time, I was the young master, away on sect business. When I got the news, I knew I couldn't fight him, so I found a body double, faked my own death, and fled. That's how I ended up traveling thousands of miles to the state of Yue. At that time, I didn't have the complete Great Yan art, but as the sect leader's only son, I was privileged to learn the first 4 layers of the technique. I compiled them into the first volume of the Great Derivation Art. I had planned to live out my days here in peace, but then my Great Derivation Art cultivation suddenly neared a breakthrough to the third layer. It rekindled my desire for revenge, and in a moment of foolishness, I contacted some of my old loyal followers. I wanted them to steal the final 3 layers mantra for me. But who could have foreseen that a twist of fate would lead to such an outcome? I don't know if they were caught trying to steal or if they simply betrayed me from the start.
This time, senior brother Lin explained the matter in great detail. Han Li watched the other's origin soul with a frigid gaze, venting his displeasure without making a move. Only after the other party had calmed down a bit did he press on.
And what is this secret you speak of?
I wish to first stop. I'll talk right now.
Senior brother Lin's origin soul seemed to want to propose some condition, but Han Li didn't give him a chance to speak. He immediately made the other suffer another great torment, nearly crushing the origin soul outright. Terrified out of his wits, senior brother Lin instantly changed his tune.
Don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Don't even think about making any demands until I've heard everything I want to know.
Senior brother Lin was completely shaken by Han Li's ruthless methods. He hurriedly told him,
Actually, this secret is also related to the great development art. No one knows when it started, but a certain rumor has been quietly circulating among the upper echelons of our 1,000 Bamboo sect for generations. Anyone who cultivates the great development art to a high level finds forming a golden core far easier than the average cultivator. They also break through cultivation bottlenecks with greater ease. After all, the success rate for our past sect leaders and their chosen successors has been remarkably high.
It can increase the chances of reaching the core formation stage?
Yes, if you, junior brother, are willing to help me find a suitable body for possession so I can start cultivating anew, I'll share the first 4 layers of the mantra with you right away. Then the 2 of us can join forces, figure out a way to seize the remaining formulas from that Jin scoundrel, and together achieve the golden core stage. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Han Li gave a non-committal grunt and said nothing, sinking back into deep thought. This sudden silence made senior brother Lin distinctly uneasy.
Only a 50 or 60% chance? Can it really increase the odds of forming a golden core?
Junior brother, a 50 or 60% chance is nothing to scoff at. This is the golden core stage we're talking about. You should give it a shot.
In truth, when senior brother Lin's father had spoken to him, the odds weren't 5 or 6 in 10, but a mere 30%. Yet now, from his own lips, the figure had instantly doubled.
Is the great development art easy to cultivate? And besides enhancing spiritual sense, can it also improve one's cultivation base? Also, I was wondering, senior brother Lin, when did you successfully build your foundation? And how long have you been cultivating this great development art?
The cultivation speed is acceptable. It seems my power can still increase a bit more. Well, I succeeded in foundation establishment over 100 years ago. I was only in my 20s then. I started cultivating the great derivation art right after that. Junior brother, why ask about these things?
Senior Lin was caught off guard by the sudden barrage of questions. Flustered, he stammered through the first 2 but answered the latter pair with clear precision.
Han Li's expression softened, as if satisfied with the answer. But then his right hand, which held the senior brother Lin's origin soul, suddenly erupted with a brilliant white light. His 5 fingers clenched with crushing force. The origin soul in his grasp had only enough time to let out a single agonized shriek,
And then dissolved into a shower of starlight, vanishing from this world forever.
It's most unfortunate, but I have a lifelong hatred for anyone who tries to possess me. It brings back some rather unpleasant memories. It's true that I'm very interested in the great development art, but it's difficult to cultivate and doesn't increase magic power. How could I possibly make it my primary cultivation method? What's the point of mastering the great development art if my magic power hasn't even reached the peak of the foundation establishment stage? Your aptitude is quite good. Yet after nearly 100 years of cultivating this great development art, you've only reached the peak of the 3rd layer, and because you split your focus, your magic power has merely lingered at the mid-foundation establishment stage. You can't have your cake and eat it too, can you? And it's no surprise that the successive leaders of the Thousand Bamboo sect managed to solidify both and form their golden cores. After all, anyone capable of becoming the head of a sect must be a peerless talent, a 1 in 10,000 cultivation genius. That makes the Great Development Art's ability to increase the odds of forming a golden core even less likely. And I know for a fact I'm no such prodigy. I have absolutely no confidence in cultivating both the Great Development Art and my magic power to their absolute peak. The worst part is, you don't even have the complete Great Development mantra, yet you want to drag me into a fight with an entire sect. Isn't that just asking for death? Even if I were to let you go, who's to say you wouldn't hold a grudge and stab me in the back later? With all those reasons, how could I possibly let you go?
This was already the second Origin Soul cultivator Han Li had eliminated. Most cultivators won't use the Origin Soul escape technique to save their skin during a fight. Projecting your Origin Soul takes a set amount of time and the caster can't move a muscle while doing it. In a typical fight between cultivators, who would give you the time to cast a spell and run away, they could have wiped you out a dozen times over before your Origin Soul even thought about leaving your body. Only after reaching the Nascent Soul stage can a cultivator use their Nascent Soul to allow their Origin Soul to leave the body in an instant. And this senior brother Lin was just as unlucky as that Yu Zitong from before. He'd intended to fly straight over Han Li's cave abode to get back to Yellow Maple Valley for treatment and reinforcements, but he blundered right into Han Li's formation instead. The illusions and shifting patterns trapped him here, leaving him to die a slow, helpless death. Unable to move a single step, he could only watch helplessly as the poison took his life, forcing him to abandon his body and release his Origin Soul. This left senior brother Lin seething with resentment toward the master of the formation. On top of that, he genuinely needed a physical body to be reborn. That's why, the moment he laid eyes on Han Li, he immediately went for the kill, launching a desperate attempt at possession without a second thought. But what he never expected was that Han Li's reaction would be so swift, catching him completely off guard. He seized the Origin Soul and snuffed it out of existence. Now that the man was dead, Han Li naturally wouldn't waste another thought on a corpse. There was a whole heap of trouble waiting for him to deal with outside the cave abode. Though the Thousand Bamboo sect's assault was ferocious, Han Li saw that the formation showed no signs of breaking, and his heart settled.
They absolutely won't dare to linger here for long. This place, though remote and on the outskirts of the Tai Yue mountain range, is still within the territory of Yellow Maple Valley. After making such a huge commotion, I don't believe they're without any fear. At this point, failing to break the formation has likely put them in a real bind. Honestly, I did consider just handing over senior brother Lin's body to get rid of them. But the signs of his Origin Soul leaving are too obvious. If they only got the body, they'd probably be even less willing to let things go. So I might as well hunker down here in the formation and play the turtle. It's not like they have the skill to break the inverted 5 elements array anyway. I have to say, I'm rather impressed with my own foresight. I managed to set up this formation just in time. Otherwise, I'd be someone's prisoner by now.
The formation seemed secure for now, but Han Li didn't dare return to his cave for a proper sleep. Instead, he went back inside, fetched a stone stool, and sat down to rest with his eyes closed. Perhaps because these attackers were using puppets, their assault was proving frustratingly persistent for Han Li.